Nta International News.
Nigeria records success in war against insurgency. Boko Haram releases 21 abducted Chibok schoolgirls. Information Minister maintains the release of Chibok schoolgirls is not a swap deal, but a triumph of democracy. Niger Delta Presidential Amnesty Program increases investment in specialized skilled areas in aviation sector. And Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark International Sight Day. Hello there, it's a warm welcome to you, and this is Nta International News. I am Oku Ekpeyong. Now we'll begin by telling you that it is confirmed that 21 of the missing Chibok girls have been released. The Director General of the DSS, Malam Lawal Daura, who briefed President Muhammadu Buhari, said the release of the girls in a limited number is the outcome of negotiations between the administration and the Boko Haram brokered by the International Red Cross and the Swiss government. The president welcomes the release of the girls, but cautioned Nigerians to be mindful of the fact that more than 30,000 fellow citizens were killed via terrorism.
To Nigerians all over, our responsibility, and we will continue to secure them wherever they are. I have just been briefed about it, but I think the Vice President, through the Minister of Information, will give you the detail.
Well, to say that I was elated by the recovery of the girl is an understatement. I am over the moon with joy, and I believe that so also are other Nigerians and the global community. And this is a manifestation of the commitment, the unrelenting commitment of the federal government towards getting back all the girls and reuniting them with their families and picking up the pieces of their lives. We have to congratulate Mr. President. We have to thank the Nigerian armed forces and other security agencies for a job well done. We believe that in the coming weeks and months, the rest of the Chibok girls will be discovered.
Meanwhile, information just reaching our newsroom has it that the released 21 Chibok schoolgirls have arrived Abuja and are in the custody of the Department of State Security Services. Before their arrival and in response to the President's directive, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, briefed the media in Abuja on the federal government's efforts in securing the release of the 21 abducted Chibok girls, describing it as a triumph of democracy and the result of the dogged commitment of the Buhari administration in finding a lasting solution to the Boko Haram insurgency in the country. Anthony Folsom reports.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed told the newsmen that a friendly European country alongside an international non-governmental organization worked with the Nigerian security agencies to secure the release of the girls without any ransom or swap deal.
We can confirm that 21 of these girls were released safely to us by 5:30 this morning, Thursday the 13th of October. This is the most glaring manifestation to date of the unwavering commitment of Mr. President to secure the safe release of the girls and reunite them with their families. Ahead of their arrival, we have assembled a team of medical doctors, psychologists, social workers, and trauma experts to properly examine the girls, especially because they have been in captivity for so long.
While steps are on to secure the release of the remaining Chibok girls, the minister said a high measure of confidence has been established between the federal government and Boko Haram. Responding to questions from journalists, the minister insisted no ransom was paid, just as no swap deal was struck. He maintained that President Muhammadu Buhari is committed to foreclosing the Chibok girls issue, and his commitment is yielding positive results.
As soon as necessary confidence was built on both sides, the parties agreed on the date and the location of the release of 21 girls. Please note that this is not a swap. It is a release, the product of painstaking negotiations and trust on both sides.
To the military and security agencies who are part of the operation, Lai Mohammed restated the federal government's resolve to provide them with all they will require to end insurgency in the country. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has left Abuja for Berlin on a 3-day official visit to the Republic of Germany. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president, accompanied by Governors Rochas Okorocha of Imo State and Kashim Shettima of Borno State, was seen off at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by the Minister of FCT, Mohamed Musa Bello, and other senior government officials. While in Berlin, President Buhari is expected to confer with Chancellor Angela Merkel and President Joachim Gauck on issues of common interest between Nigeria and Germany. The discussions will specifically center on security, trade and economic relations, as well as the humanitarian situation of the internally displaced persons and the rehabilitation of the badly devastated northeastern part of Nigeria. The Senate Committee on Agriculture has identified inadequate funding as a major setback in the implementation of the 2016 budget. It was at an oversight visit to some agencies under the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development in Abuja. Kenneth Nanum reports.
The Senate Committee on Agriculture visited National Agricultural Sales Council, Nigerian Agricultural Insurance Corporation, Veterinary Council of Nigeria, the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, and the Nigerian Institute of Animal Science. Chief executive officers of the agencies explained plans to explore opportunities in the agribusinesses, but lacked adequate finances to perform optimally. To achieve the developmental roadmap of the Agri Ministry, the committee advised them to be proactive and innovative, as well as come up with amendment bills that will check unnecessary bureaucracy in their operations.
If the things we see here is anything to go by, our expectation is we will see worse things in terms of the situation, the state of affairs, with the ministry.
Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Meanwhile, dwindling resources require innovative and cost-effective ways of management, especially as it relates to government. To bring senior government officials up to speed, a cost management workshop has been organized by the Federal Ministry of Finance through its efficiency unit. Joy Uzo reports that the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, reiterated the need to channel resources to capital projects rather than recurrent or overhead expenditure.
Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun has been vocal in a call for financial prudence, now impressing it on senior civil servants under whose charge government seeks to get value for money. In view of harsh economic realities, Adeosun wants maximum returns, elimination of wastages and less dependence on subventions or appropriations from government.
And how we need to bring overheads down so that we can have enough money to invest in our capital projects. And we explained some tools that could be used to query approvals that are being brought for signing. We gave some data that would allow heads of agencies to be far more effective in signing up to the cost control objective of this government.
We have saved so far about 15 billion. If you just look at travels, the sitting allowance.
Head of Civil Service and the Accountant General of the Federation, a strong believer in a current finance prudence crusade.
Our initiative now in all these areas is to redirect our attention away from consumption to capital development. And that's where the bulk of spending is being done.
Whether we like it or not, we all have to key into this new agenda, and there will definitely be sanctions.
The training is expected to be a continuous one, with directors from federal ministries, departments and agencies as next in line. In Abuja, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
In line with the federal government's desire to open up its tourism sector as a revenue earner for the country, the Steering Committee on the Presidential Council on Tourism, under the auspices of the Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, has met to draw up an agenda for the council in Abuja. Anthony Folson reports.
The Presidential Council on Tourism is the highest decision-making body on tourism in the country. It was established by the President Olusegun Obasanjo's administration with the mandate to speed up tourism infrastructural development in the country, as well as conduct and harmonize tourism issues in a systemic manner, among other issues. Addressing the inaugural meeting of the Steering Committee in Abuja, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed said barriers militating against tourism development must be removed with a view to promoting Nigeria as a tourism destination.
Placing tourism on the same pedestal with other sectors of the economy, and also to facilitate accelerated tourism development in all states of the Federation.
With United Nations World Tourism Organization's assurance to assist Nigeria develop its tourism sector, the minister said the sector will be used to alleviate poverty.
Consequently, it is our resolve that the resuscitation of the PCT has become paramount for the tourism sector to garner the needed attention it deserves.
With the resuscitation of the Presidential Committee on Tourism, its activities will be coordinated from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And building new and improving upon existing infrastructure, as well as creating a conducive business climate, have been identified as crucial steps if local production is to thrive in Nigeria. Guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria identified these factors while discussing the topic, patronizing made in Nigeria goods. Ahmed Mbali reports.
The Minister of Budget and National Planning seemed to lead the campaign for made in Nigerian goods, considering his outfit was locally made. The other guests on the program shared much the same views, if not the same attire, as to the need to encourage local production.
And competitiveness here, we are talking about competitiveness in pricing and competitiveness in quality.
This is made in Nigeria, so I wear made in Nigeria. The fabric may not be made here, but as my colleague rightly stated, it's about value addition.
But again, what we're saying is that made in Nigeria is the ultimate thing, made Nigeria a productive nation, and we need the help of not only the local investor, we need also the help of the foreign investors to achieve this.
Infrastructure deficit was also identified as a key ingredient missing in the local production mix.
And so when we came out with our document, the Strategic Implementation Plan for the 2016 budget, which we issued in the early part of the year.
There is no way we can continue to talk about patronizing foreign-made cars. We have decided that we are going to buy Peugeot automobile for our members, for our constituency jobs.
All the speakers on the program said with all hands on deck, expectations are that efforts to encourage patronage of made in Nigerian products will soon meet with success. In Abuja, Ahmed Mbali, NTA News.
Meanwhile, about 3,000 exhibitors from 30 countries are currently participating in the 13th Nta International Small and Medium Enterprises Fair in Gwangju, capital of Guangdong Province. The SME Fair, which helps growing businesses in different countries to expand trade, learn innovation and facilities business matchmaking, opened on the 10th of October at the Gwangju Poly World Trade Center. Julieta Aino reports that Nigeria is attending the fair for the first time.
China's largest commercial city is holding yet another buying and selling extravaganza. The Nta International SME Fair 6 Months is the largest exhibition in China for small and medium enterprises to display specialties from different parts of the world.
They were fascinated by the material, especially because they are peculiar to Nigeria. For instance, the ashoke. Ashoke is woven in Nigeria. It's not in any other place. If you have something like ashoke elsewhere, it's just like ashoke.
Though this is the 13th session of the Nta International SME Fair, Nigeria is participating actively for the first time.
Nigeria, we are in the right direction. The only missing link in Nigeria is the funding issue, because largely if you look at the other agencies, like ours that are in other countries and look at the amount of money put into the small businesses is quite big. That is why we wanted to amend the act that establishes our agency to enable us generate funding outside the national budget.
The China International SME Fair is jointly hosted by the Chinese Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, the National Development Reform Commission, Ministry of Finance, Commerce, and other Guangzhou State administrative offices. This 13th session is co-hosted by India and Cote d'Ivoire. From Guangzhou, Guangdong Province, Julieta Aino, NTA News.
And for more happenings around the business world, here is Chukunonso Mwabweze.
Thanks for being there. Entrepreneurs have advised the country's teeming youth to embrace the spirit of entrepreneurship, to be self-reliant in order to contribute towards the economic development of the nation.
This period of recession is when you have to invest. You know, I'm not only investing I'm talking about only investments in terms.
And data from the Statistics Office of Namibia indicates that the country's inflation was slightly up to 6.9% year-on-year in September from 6.8% in August, while last month's 0.2% rise on month-on-month basis remained unchanged. Away from Africa, reports from the global market reveal that the British pound sterling has lost 18% of its value since Brexit. The CEO of British Retail Consortium, Helen Dickinson, says retailers are firmly on the side of consumers in negotiating with suppliers and improving efficiencies in the supply chain to control the inflationary pressure that is building through the devaluation of the currency. And that's the size of our package. Thanks for your time. I'm Chukunonso Mwabweze.
Many thanks, Chukunonso. Now you're watching the news on Nta International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Stay tuned for more reports after the break.
Hear the call of change, stand up. Nigeria, change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogerula. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and
Nta International News. Africa as it is.
The Niger Delta Presidential Amnesty Program has increased investment in specialized skilled areas in the aviation sector to close existing gaps in Nigeria's operated air industry. 20 delegates of the program have been recently deployed to the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria, to train on air traffic control and other associated day-to-day ground operations at the airport. Namdi Odikpo tells us more.
This institute is old but not obsolete. Nearly 5 decades after its establishment, the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology Zaria remains relevant, striving to continuously meet the emerging demands of the international aviation industry. These efforts are clearly the nation's gains as interested groups key into the institute's ability to groom professionals in key aviation skilled areas. The Presidential Amnesty Office is perhaps its latest partner. The partnership is quite strategic and will be cost-effective, considering that most, if not all, of the aviation trainings for delegates under the amnesty program were done in foreign countries.
I feel it's proper right. Instead of sending amnesty beneficiaries out of the country, it's better that we use our own facilities. And that is why I am here today.
By domesticating its aviation training component, the Amnesty Office hopes it can directly impact in areas where local skills are currently lacking.
It will be integrated into the actual professional training in air traffic control
ATC, standard flight operations, this SFO, and other skills acquisition in the various schools.
The 20 delegates to be trained at the Aviation Technology College in Zaria will be exposed to advanced studies and practicals that meets the approval of the International Civil Aviation Organization. Namdi Odikbo, NTA News.
A staggering number of about 285 people worldwide are visually impaired and blind, with 90% of them in developing countries. As Nigeria joins over 154 other countries to mark World Sight Day with the theme Universal Eye Health or Call to Action, there is need for all eye care givers, policymakers and key personalities to come together and form strong alliance in providing access to all-encompassing eye care services for all Nigerians. Chimney Mando BC reports that with this, the Nigerian Optometric Association and Gariki Hospital, Abuja, organized free eye screenings for all Nigerians, of which over 40 million are visually impaired and over 2 million blind, according to National Low Vision and Blindness Survey of 2009.
Across the nation, and be able to issue questionnaires to them, be able to generate data, statistics of blindness or visual impairment.
It's advisable that every year you get yourself to a specialist to check your eyes. Avoid harmful eye practices.
The association, in collaboration with the Federal Road Safety Corps and Lions Club International, also embarked on a road walk to raise awareness on converting the economic burden of visually impairment and blindness to huge financial savings for the Nigerian economy. The Director General, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, management and staff of the Nigerian Television Authority have congratulated the Director General of NTA, Africa's largest TV network, Engineer Vincent Maduka, on his 81st birthday. Engineer Vincent Maduka, who became the first Director General in 1977, has been a great source of inspiration and motivation not only to NTA but to the broadcast industry in Africa. We at NTA pray for more fruitful years, good health for our amiable and dependable pioneer Director General, Engineer Vincent Maduka. Now, Uche Wizo has stories trending around the globe.
Japanese government has pledged to lease additional land next year to expand a military base in Eastern Africa as a counterbalance to what it sees as growing Chinese influence in the region. China says it is seeking closer ties with African nations to help it gain access to natural resources and provide